Dear student friends, in my previous presentation, I have explained about the basic structure of a typical analog to digital converter, right? What exactly it contains, the analog inputs, the reference voltage, then the start of conversion signal, end of conversion signal, and the typical digital output bits. So that is what was discussed in our previous presentation, right? So now let us try to discuss about the different types of the analog to digital conversions. And you know that whenever you want to convert an analog input into its digital equivalent like this, the ADC takes certain time here to make the conversion, right? So that depends upon the different principles on which the analog to digital converters work on, right? Now we will try to see different types of analog to digital converters. To start with, let us go with the successive approximation type of analog to digital converter. Let us try to see what is the meaning of successive approximation type of ADC and what all the different things that it contains and how it converts a given analog input into its equivalent digital output. Okay, so now if you carefully observe this diagram, the first diagram here, the first diagram, right? This represents basically a structure of a successive approximation type of analog to digital converter. Please have a careful observation of this diagram. You have an 8-bit successive approximation register because I am discussing about an 8-bit successive approximation type of ADC, right? You have got an 8-bit successive approximation register. Let us try to see what exactly is this later. Then you have got one 8-bit digital to analog converter, right? An ADC implementing a digital to analog converter. Let us try to see why the DAC is used here. Then an op-amp based comparator, right, to compare two analog signals. Then of course a clock signal in order to make the conversion into digital value in synchronism with the clock signal. Then you have the start signal as well as the end of conversion signal as we have discussed earlier. Finally, a latch which is used to hold the equivalent digital output corresponding to analog input once the complete conversion is over. So these are the different, parts or the components of a typical successive approximation type of analog to digital converter. Now we will try to see what exactly is the successive approximation register, or what we call as SAR here. So this SAR is used to find the required value of each bit. You can see here each bit, right, by trial and error method, right? So now it is too early for me to tell you what exactly is the meaning of this trial and error method. First we will try to see the description about each component here. Later, once we start looking at the working of it, then I will tell you what is the exact function of the successive approximation resistor here, right? Then the digital to analog converter for the comparison of arbitrary output of SAR with the unknown analog input signal. You have the unknown analog input signal to be measured here, which is required to be converted into its digital equivalent here, right? So what exactly happens here is the SAR gives some arbitrary output depending upon checking of each clock pulse. Then you will have corresponding analog output here, and this analog output is compared with the unknown analog input for the further checking of the bits here, right? How exactly that is done, that we will see when we look at its working in our next slide. Now before going to that, we will also try to see what exactly is the meaning of the latch. It is used to transfer the final digital equivalent value of the analog input. Once the complete conversion is over, whatever is available on this data bus, that should be taken as the equivalent digital value with respect to the analog input here. Then one more important point to be noted here is that an n bit conversion gets completed in n cycles. So if you have the clock pulses like this. So if you have an 8-bit, analog to digital converter, it requires 8 clock pulses. This is what is the meaning of the n-bit conversion getting completed in n cycles. So now let us not look into this particular table right now. We will see what exactly is this once we understand the working of the successive approximation type of analog to digital converter. Now let us look here, the same diagram I have taken, the same table which we had represented in the previous slide that I have taken. Now we will go into the working here. See here, once the start of conversion signal is given to your SAR register, in fact SAR is a part of your ADC, right? The SAR resets holding the starting signal high, right? So now from once you receive the startup signal, then the very conversion process will begin, right? Now once the first clock pulse is available, right, the MSB here, MSB is D1, you can see here, right? So the output of D1 is arbitrarily set to a higher value by your successive approximation register. So here the very meaning of successive approximation is you start from a particular bit, try to approximate it depending upon its value is greater than the input analog quantity or less than the input analog quantity, right? So that is the principle here. So first now the output is set to 1 initial output, right? Then the DAC generates an analog equivalent of D1 bit which is compared with Vin. Now when this is high, all other bits are 0 now, so your MSB is high, the remaining 7 bits are going to be 0 here. So this is going to be a digital output which is arbitrary. So this digital output is again converted back into analog value by the digital to analog converter. So if this is V in here, now this is going to be your VA. So V in and VA are going to be compared. That means that this value, this particular value is going to be compared with the input signal now. Okay. So once the DAC generates an analog equivalent of D1 bit, it will be compared with the analog input V in. Now the next point is a very important point to be noted here. If the comparator output is low, if the comparator output is low, that means the DAC output, let me call this as VA, this as V in, okay. If the DAC output is greater than V in, if VA is greater than V in, then SAR will clear D1. That means initially your 8-bit data was something like this, right? If your VA is greater than Vin, so this does not correspond to the analog input. So therefore this is going to be reset. Forget about the other bits, that will take the sequential precedence later. Okay. So if the comparator output is low, then SAR will clear the MSB. Otherwise, if the comparator output is high, right? If this VA is higher than the input signal, then your MSB has to remain intact. So in this case, your MSB will remain as 1 only. Okay, so this is a very important point to be noted. So now these two steps are very important. After this, depending upon whether DAC output is greater than Vin or DAC output is less than Vin, your MSB from where the testing was started, that is going to remain as it is, or that is going to get reset. Okay, then afterwards, during the next clock cycle, now the first clock cycle is over. Now during the next clock cycle, okay, this is going to be 1, this is going to be 2. In the next clock cycle, what is going to happen is the SAR sets the next MSB D2 high. So that you can see here also in this diagram. Now let us say that this is the correct digital representation of some analog input here, right? So initially D1 will be set to high. So the initial comparator output will be 1. So therefore D1 will remain high here, and the next D2 in this case. Now in this case D2 is set, whatever we have taken here, right? So during the next clock cycle, SAR sets the next MSB D2 high. Once the next MSB D2 is set high, again based on the output of the comparator, right, whether this D2 will remain high or low, that is all decided by whether the corresponding DAC output is greater than Vin or it is going to be less than Vin. That's what you can see here in this particular case. So in the second case, definitely it will remain high only because the next bit is required to be logic high here. So therefore that will remain high here. So in this process, all the 8 bits are going to be checked in 8 clock pulses like this, 1 2 3 4 5 6, like that. Okay, so now you can see here the third bit here in this case is 0 here. That means D1 D2 D3 is 0. So that you can see here, once the D3 is set to high here, now the output is the other way around, right? So this is required to be 0. So therefore in the next iteration or the next clock pulse, the third bit is going to become 0 here, right? So with that 0, the next bit will be set to high. Now again the next bit will be remaining high or low. That all depends upon whether this output is going to be remaining high or low. In this way, all the subsequent bits till D8, they are going to be checked here, right? So you started from D1 being high, then D2, D3, D4, right? So depending upon the converter output or this depending upon the comparator output which is high or low, this bit will be either 1 or 0, 1 or 0, 1 or 0 till your LSB, that is the D8 bit, is going to be checked, right? Now once the D8 bit is tried, that is the least significant bit is tried, that indicates that all the bits here are tried, and now that should be the end of your conversion, right? So upon receiving the D8 LSB, upon trying the D8 LSB, the SAR forces the end of conversion signal, which enables the latch to latch the digital equivalent of the analog signal. So that means this end of conversion signal, once it becomes high, whatever is available on the data bus, okay, so this is going to be the digital equivalent of analog signal. So V in, or whatever you have taken it here, V in. Okay, so now once the output is obtained in the form of its digital equivalent, if at all you want to repeat the operation, the conversion process, the end of conversion signal can also be converted to start of conversion signal. That means you may have continuous analog data which is coming here, which is required to be converted into its equivalent digital values. Okay, so in this way 8 clock pulses are required for the conversion of analog to digital value for an 8-bit analog to digital converter, right? So this is the simple operation, and accordingly you can check the bits of all these things, and you can validate the different steps that I have written here with respect to this particular example. So in our next presentations, we will go with the other type of analog to digital converters.